Hello, and welcome to the Westmoreland Museum of American Art, virtually. I'm Mona Wiley. I'm the Public Programs Manager at the museum. I'm very excited to be your host for the evening. Tonight is the first of many artist talks focusing on the Diversity Billboard Art Project, where you will hear from Amun Butler and Alejandro Fiez, two of the artists involved in the project. The Diversity Billboard Art Project is a public art campaign that will display 10 new works of art by 10 local artists throughout Westmoreland County. The first of the billboards went up on Monday, October 5th. The artworks will be installed on specific billboards along routes 22, 30, 31, 51, 56, 119, 217, and I-76, and will be on view at each location for 12 to 24 weeks. The project is generously funded by the Heinz Endowment's Just Arts program, an initiative that supports artists, organizations, and communities who harness the power of the artists to respond to social issues affecting the Pittsburgh region and beyond. The idea of billboards to spread a positive message through art was conceived by the Westmoreland Diversity Coalition's co-founder and Board of Trustees co-chair, Carlotta Page, who developed the grant proposal in partnership with the Westmoreland Museum of American Art. Each artist was commissioned to create an original artwork inspired by the theme, "Make Our Differences Our Strengths." That visually conveys how diversity and inclusion can make Westmoreland County communities stronger. To allow the public to experience all 10 artworks at once and to more deeply engage with and reflect upon the overall message, the coalition plans to host additional exhibitions featuring the artist's works in several Westmoreland County venues, contingent on health and safety protocols, of course. The first exhibition of the 10 artworks is planned to be at the Westmoreland Museum of American Art and opens on October 16th. For more information on the project or billboard locations and exhibition schedules, please visit makeourdifferencesourstrengths.com or Facebook at Make Our Differences Our Strengths. So before we get to the conversation, before we get to talk to the artists, I would like to introduce you to Shayla Quayer-Schaefer, the lead artist on the Billboard Project, who will serve as our lovely moderator for the evening's events.
Thank you so much, Mona, for that beautiful introduction. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you
All right,
for
Shayla,
being here
I'm gonna let you take over. I'm gonna head backstage so you can introduce everybody. How's that sound?
Okay, good.
All right, awesome.
Thanks,
I'll be back.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. As Mona said, my name is Shayla Quayer-Schaefer. I am the lead artist of the project Make Our Difference Our Strengths, and I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. I'm here to introduce the first two artists of our 10 selected artists for this project. Their names are Alejandro Fiez and Amun Ray. Amun Ray's project speaks to all those fragments of our society that we can put together to make our communities stronger. And Alejandro's works is about intergenerational relationships. Hi, Alejandro and Ray.
Hello,
How
Shayla.
are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Okay, let's start by introducing who wants to be first. Ray, would you like to be first? Do you want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I can go first. Let me reintroduce myself. I'm Amun Ray. I am a young Black artist. I work with the organization One Hood Media, and that's a social justice and art activism type of organization. I also have been doing arts professionally for about roughly 7 years now, and I'm just very thankful to be here and very excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Alejandro, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I didn't say hi, Ray, to you. Hello, Ray.
Hello.
I'm Alejandro. I am originally from Ecuador, but I came to Pittsburgh 6 years ago. Um, and I've been working here since the moment I came to this city. Um, it received me with open arms, and I was able to make art, which is what I like. I'm a visual artist. Um, I used to paint with oils, but I switched to digital paintings maybe 2 years ago. And one of those digital paintings is included in this project. What else? I think that's
Tell us
the
about the
general
work.
stuff.
Tell us
So
about the work that you have in the project.
this is the first time that I work in a project like this that is public art. So it's new to me, and it's very interesting because usually I have worked in artwork that is meant to be inside of galleries and museums, but this time it's going to be outside, and everybody's going to be able to see this work, and it's going to be for free because it's outside. So that's really interesting, and also. Um,
Right.
Specifically, the theme for this project is make our differences our strengths. So what I did was try to combine what I was previously painting, which was about nonverbal communication and like using pose, composition, colors in order to communicate something. I combined those aspects with this theme of make our differences our strengths. Um, so I decided to talk about age, how
Right.
different generations um, should be able to work together for a common objective. Because I think everything is connected. Like every generation should be connected, and we should be connected to the rest of the world.
That's right.
That's so that's the image of my painting. Yeah, so that's mainly what it is about.
Okay. And I've noticed that you, in your recent work, you're using a lot of this kind of like magenta and the teal colors. Do they have any specific meaning?
So the whole palette doesn't really have a specific meaning. It happens that I had the opportunity to purchase a new book, and it's full of different color palettes. And there's a section that contains these kinds of palettes, and I like them a lot. So that's why I painted a lot of painting with this similar colors.
Can you tell us a little bit about the scene with the cat and the young girl and
Sure. So, as I said, everything is connected in the image. So the old lady is helping the little child to help the cat, which is like stuck in the tree, and at the same time, the tree is like connected to the whole composition, to the mountains, and the leaves are above the old lady. So it's supposed to show like a cycle, like a connection between everything, between plants, animals, and humans. Yeah, so
that is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandro. Ray,
You're
can
welcome.
you tell us about your design?
Absolutely. So my design is essentially puzzle pieces to show. It's called Making Connections,
Can
and
we
it's
see
essentially
that?
about. Sure.
Yeah, they're gonna show it right. Okay, good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So basically, like as you see in the picture, it's
Mhm.
a lot of representation going on. I represented the LGBT community, and I also represented a lot of just different things that I feel are really important to have a part of like a working community,
Mhm.
or a well-working community, I should say. Um, so like for example, some of the key components would be equity, and you also should respect and honor somebody's culture, and to do
Yes.
that, you need love in all of its aspects. And I feel like those are some of the three like main points that should be included amongst every community, especially one that's celebrating diversity. Um, but ultimately, I've also included the Black Lives Matter acronym on the wrist of the hand under love, because
Of course.
for me, as a Black artist, I feel like I would be doing myself an injustice to not like to not signify that in some aspect of my art.
Yes.
And I also know that this final project or final product took a lot of extreme like advice and coaching to get it to this level of this quality that it is now. So I'm very thankful for the help and support that I had along the way, because this was not easy, especially somebody coming into the art world like so new to everything.
Yes, you are a very young artist. Tell me what was the moment that you decided to be an artist? How did that happen? Did you have an influence like of someone from your community, the books, visiting the museum, family members? How did that happen?
Absolutely. Basically for me, my entire family is really artistic. I have a
Mm-hmm.
cousin, my cousin Meredith, she makes cakes. My other cousin Katie, she dances. My cousin Ryan does videography, and or she used to dance rather, but and now she is a writer. Um, but I've always grown up in the arts, um, whether that was acting or painting or dancing or whatever. So for me, I can't see myself doing anything else but art, because that is literally my life. I
Right.
was always raised in the art world. I even went to school for arts, musical theater. So, but it wasn't up until
Did you
because
go to
originally
school here in Pittsburgh?
I did. I went to Kappa. Um, I
Okay.
went to Kappa
Okay.
downtown for musical theater, and I
Okay.
originally was only doing art as a form of therapy. Um, and then like a few projects came and went, and then I eventually started doing it more professionally. And that's only been
Mm-hmm.
for the last 7 years.
So, and you also do painting, right?
Yes, I
Painting,
do.
not, I don't mean digital painting, but what do you use? Acrylics, oils?
I
What's your medium?
I use acrylic painting, or acrylic paint, but I
Mhm.
don't just paint. I do all types of visual arts, from graphic work to digital design to sketch work, sculpting, photography, um, and then I also,
Oh,
like I said
wow.
before, and like I also said before, um, I've had a lot of training and education in other forms of art, like musical theater, dance, jazz, and things like that. So I just call myself an artist in general as a blanket term.
That's fascinating.
Thank you.
Alejandro, how about you? How did you decide to become an artist? Thank you, Ray.
Uh, well, it just happened. I don't know if I decided to do it. It's weird. I don't know. Since I was a little child and I learned how to write, um, I used to draw anything. anything I saw, I tried to copy what I saw from magazines or anything. And it was like a habit.
Like illustrations? Did you do like
Anything.
illustrations, or you were more, or you would prefer like to see photographs and try to do
So,
drawings like from the photographs? Or...
so when I was a child, I used to use even stickers or drawings from snacks, like anything with a picture of a character or anything. I used to draw those things, and when I grew
Mhm.
up and I was a teenager, I used to try to copy what I saw in magazines, to copy people from pictures on magazines, and try to do them as
Oh
realistic
wow!
as I could. And so when I was done with high school, it was like I just knew that I had to go to art school because I didn't have any other uh, idea in my head. It was the only thing that I could think of. Um,
Right.
so I went to Argentina to study fine arts, and I learned a lot of things there.
So what made you go to Argentina?
Um,
Was there a particular school that you liked there?
I don't know, maybe because in that moment it was like maybe 8 years ago or 9 years ago. In that moment, I was still learning English, and
Mhm.
at first I wanted to come to the U.S. to study arts, but I thought that my English wasn't good enough, so I decided to go to Argentina because it was the same
Mhm.
the same language. So that was the main reason. But then when I was there, I realized that it was a very good decision because it was a very interesting place. I went to Buenos Aires, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of art there. Every day there's something.
Of course. Okay, we have a question here from a fellow artist, Edith Abeta, and she wants us to talk about how these works interrupt the landscape and the notion as to what a billboard is. Who wants to talk about it? Ray or Alejandro,
Um,
would you like to talk about that? What you think of the billboards as
so
like with a work of art instead of a message, like a commercial message?
we are
I
used
think it's
to,
a
yeah, we are already used to watching any kind of image um, on top of a landscape or like by the road, because there's so many advertisements. So it's like the same
mhm,
thing. It's not like an interruption. It's something that is there, and we already
mhm,
know how it is. But this time, the difference is going to be that we're not selling anything, or if we're selling something, is a message. So yeah, that's
mhm.
what I think.
Yeah, and I think particularly at this moment that we are as a country and as a community, just to take up some space from all the political message, and sometimes it's so divisive, the message, that we can bring this idea of you know, unity and inclusion to our community. I think is very important. What do you think, Ray?
Absolutely. I also feel that as you were saying, having art on one of these billboards as opposed to like a commercial is really something powerful because it puts it on a much larger, much more shareable scale, so that
Mm-hmm.
everybody can enjoy it. And granted, it may not be a lasting part of, the landscape, but it's a beneficial temporary addition, in my opinion. Um, it helps to one add color to the road as you're driving by, and it also helps to just kind of get the right side of your brain stirring a little bit more. So like the creative side and things like that.
Yes, and then I think something that it's very important is the use of the billboards as public art, because when you talk about art, people usually talk about visiting a gallery, a museum. When you have the art on a billboard, the work is out there, so it's for everyone to see, and that's like the fundamental function, I think, of this, to bring the message to the community.
Yes, and also,
Someone has a question. What do you say?
oh no, I was just saying something that you're right. I agree with you because I I worked for a gallery for a couple of years, and what I noticed was that people who were walking by, most of them wouldn't get inside of the place because people are still they still feel shy, or I don't know, they don't feel like it's open to the public. So most people don't go inside of galleries or museums because of that reason. It feels like a barrier,
Right.
and once it's outside,
Yes.
it becomes available to everybody. So it's good.
Okay. Someone has a question for Ray. Can you expand on the mention of your bio of designing a community park in Wilkinsburg?
Sure, absolutely. So this was years ago. I was entering in, this was before I was in the sixth grade, um, through summer program. But originally I was just designing, like just drawing. And then I wanted to draw a design for a park. And the director of the summer program was also somebody who worked with the PHLF, or the Pittsburgh History and Landmarks Foundation, Louise Sturgis.
Mhm.
She helped me submit that idea to the Pittsburgh city mayor, who then referred me to the Wilkinsburg city mayor because they had space available. But after a few months and eventually about 2 or 3 years, it was a project that actually came to be, and I was really excited about that. Um, the unveiling date was October 22nd, um, 20, 2012. Yeah, but it was definitely a very, very impactful project that I did. Like my first big art project ever in my life.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, we have more questions. How do you think each artist that is your billboard concept theme will bring diversity to Westmoreland County? From Patty Beachley. Who wants to answer first? Alejandro?
Um, well, okay. Well, it's not that a painting is going to bring diversity to anywhere. It doesn't work like that, I think, because it's not as simple as that. But this kind of the whole project is going to help um, to bring awareness to the people who are around the project. And if we have more of these kinds of projects, that's going to be the thing that is going to bring diversity, I think.
Right. What do you think, Ray?
Absolutely. I really agree with what Alejandro said. How I also want to add on to that, that I do think that to some extent a painting or an image can bring about change, because I feel like this what the painting actually is, or what the image is of, can inspire a lot of people, because what they say, an image is worth 1,000 words. So
Right.
in my opinion, I feel that instead of telling somebody to stop doing something, but rather you paint what happens if you keep doing it, I feel like that's more impactful to somebody versus just telling them to stop doing certain things. So I feel like with a painting or with an image or a graphic piece on a billboard like this, I feel like it's giving the option for people to be notified about something in a different way, something that they may not realize they're actually receptive towards.
Thank you, Ray. And this leads me to another question that I have for both of you. What motivates you to keep creating? Who wants to answer first?
I guess I can answer.
Okay.
For me, what motivates me to keep creating is the simple fact that, like I said before, I use art as a therapy. So for me to create allows me, it's like I'm releasing maybe negative emotions or I'm sharing positive emotions. So for me, it's just something that is extremely therapeutic. And I can't see myself not being able to create in some aspect either, because it's just it's just really therapeutic.
Yes, it is. It can be. It certainly can be. Thank you, Ray. How about you, Alejandro?
I would say that everything motivates me when, everybody creates, but each person creates in a different way. Like some of us create art, other people create something in science or something in math or in different areas. And I think it's just a human necessity or a human instinct to create something. So in my case, it's like I feel that I need to do it in order to express something that I have inside of me. So what motivates me is, I don't know, different things that I see or that I experience in any day.
Okay. I totally get that. It can be anything. Anything can inspire you.
Yes.
So how has you approach evolved throughout the years? You said that you used to do like oil painting and then you switch to digital. Um, what do you see yourself seeing after this? What other changes in materials and themes?
Yes, I already feel excited about what I want to do next. I always want to do more things. So the reason I used to use oils was just because I learned to paint with oils. So I didn't try with different things when I started. And one day I purchased a drawing tablet, and then I started trying like to do drawings or anything with that. And I discovered that there's so many advantages of using a tablet and using a computer to paint. Like you don't need a big studio, or you don't need to clean the place. It doesn't get messy. It doesn't smell. You can correct a lot of things. There's so many advantages. And so now that I'm working with digital paintings, the next thing that I want to do is work with photography, and also maybe something related to film or video. and like doing the same approach to paintings, maybe just the same compositions, the same colors, everything the same, but instead of painting, just taking the camera and shooting the scene. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, changing the language. How
Yeah.
about you, Ray? Thank you, Alejandro.
You're welcome.
So you said that you have studied jazz. You are trained in many different things. That you even designed a park, and then you did painting, and then you also do digital design. Um, so your practice has changed a lot throughout the years.
Yeah.
Um, how do you see it, like in the near future?
I definitely see my skill set being more fine-tuned. I see I see myself becoming kind of like known for a lot of like pieces and or signature like styles. Um, and I'm also I want to get I want to try different things with like effects. So like depth
Mm-hmm.
and actually morphing like 2D and 3D image work and things like that. That I feel would be my next elevation in terms of like visual arts goes. I definitely want to play with effects and depth and perception and things like that.
You said 2D and 3D, but you're talking about digital, or you're talking
No,
about
I'm talking about like a physical piece. So like
okay.
from one angle
So
it
you
would
want to do
look
sculpture?
right. I want to work more with like sculpture and um
Oh, fantastic.
photography.
Okay, so talking about the practice, what do you think are the challenges and the advantages of working as an artist in this area?
Um, well, for me in particular, a lot of challenges working as an artist in Pittsburgh at least is Pittsburgh is not really an arts based city. It's definitely more medical or law. Um, and if you don't know that, then you're kind of you get overlooked. But in Pittsburgh, being an artist, it's a welcomed challenge for me because I feel like if I'm able to make it or if I'm able to start, being known in Pittsburgh, then it should be a good this is good practice work for being known somewhere else. But ultimately, a lot of the challenges in particular for me, being a black artist, not a lot of people want to work with you. Not a lot of people take younger artists seriously. So I've gotten a lot of no's and a lot of denials for being a black artist or being a young artist, and it
Mm.
does get discouraging. And there are a lot of times people often don't share my work because I'm so young or because I'm either new in the art world or so unexperienced. But for me, it's just getting through those challenges, or if I can get through those challenges, is really a big, like, kind of hurrah moment for me. So that's why I still stay in the arts world because it's like one of those challenges.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so important to have like a community of artists and friends that can support you, give you advice. Um, I think that's crucial, because when you're when you're an independent artist, to start, you have to do everything yourself, right? You are
Right.
your own PR. You have to you are an accountant. You have to do social
Every
media and
Yeah,
your practice. So to
absolutely.
take care
And
of all of that is a
it's
little
tough.
bit challenging.
Yeah.
Hmm. So what do you think, Alejandro?
I kind of forgot the question. What were you saying?
We were talking about the challenges and advantages of being an artist in this region.
Oh, uh, so yeah. I was going to say something and then I forgot. And so I know now. Um, the thing is that now, at the times that we're living, um,
Hmm.
everything happens globally through internet. So I think there's less differences between working in one place and another place because everything happens inside of the computer, inside of the internet. And what I think
Yes.
is the difference between living in one place or another and working as an artist. It's just the lifestyle that you have. Um, Pittsburgh is a really, I live in Pittsburgh currently, and I think it's a really good place for an artist in the sense of lifestyle because um, it's not as expensive as big cities, and
Yeah.
at the same time it's not too big either. So you don't need, well, to if you live in a neighborhood that is close to downtown or not too far, you can move from one neighborhood to another. It's easy to live here in that sense. Food, everything's cheaper. So that aspect is an advantage of being here as an artist. Um, and yeah, I think now because we do it everything through the internet, there's no too many disadvantages of living in of being an artist living in a small town or a small city. Yeah, but the disadvantages would be the ones that you said, that an artist has to be able to handle different aspects that had nothing to do with arts, like like
Right.
that you have to prepare your own taxes to do accounting and everything, and
Yeah, you have to learn
marketing.
everything.
Yes, and that's something that
Design your own website.
yeah, everything, and you don't expect that. You have first this idea of I'm just gonna paint and do what I want, but it's not how it works. Yeah.
Really. I think I think actually we have galleries, very good galleries. We have the museums and we have very good places to exhibit the work. It's the I don't think that art sells a lot here in town. I think that to sell and to make a living as an artist, you have to um, set your goals to sell outside the Pittsburgh area too, not only focus, in, here. And I have a question for Amre. You talk about how you have grown up with art. Do you think without those close experiences, you would still be an artist today?
Um, that's actually a really
That's
good
from
question.
Sarah Sarsfield.
Um,
Yep.
Thank you for your question, Sarah. Personally, I feel that if I hadn't grown up with the art influences, I probably would not have known that I needed to be an artist. So the short answer is no, I don't think I would be an artist. But the long answer is I would have still needed to be and still needed to have practiced art, but it would not have been something on my radar. I would have probably been in school still to become like a doctor or a lawyer. So honestly, this is definitely I'm definitely thankful that my life kind of panned out this way because I can do something therapeutic and occasionally, hopefully, make money every now and then. But yeah, no. To like I said, the short answer is I don't think I would have been an artist if I didn't grow up with the influences that I had.
Okay, so in this leads to my other question. Do you have like a role model? Is there an artist that you admire? Do you have a mentor, or just um, which artist like do you admire and you see it like it's a, you know, someone you need to follow, that you like to follow, you like their work, you like their practice?
I definitely have always been a fan of Basquiat and Matisse. Um, I'm a huge fan of colors, but there's their style. I don't mimic their style, but I just love their style inspired me to create my own style. Because it was something for that time period that wasn't being done. And then Warhol, then I started learning about Warhol and who taught Basquiat and things like that. So I was just
Right.
I was just over the moon and had all of these more I had all of these new influences as I grew into the art world. The art world kind of grew onto me, like so I'm just still learning new artists every single day and just becoming more and more influenced. Like just meeting the other 10 artists a part of this project, I've been influenced and like inspired to create different types of projects and different pieces. So I honestly say, um, in terms of a single influence, I don't have one particular favorite, but I definitely will admit that I've found something like influential from every every artist that I've ever met.
Thank you, Ray. How about you, Alejandro?
Mm, Well, I have a lot of influences, but what happens is that I don't see that many painters as an influence for me. What inspires me is filmmakers, and I like to
Mhm.
see a lot of movies. I love movies, and I uh, I get inspired by the images that I see in movies, by the form. That's why a lot of my paintings have the format like a widescreen, like like a cinema screen, really wide,
Yes,
because I like that. I
they
like
do. Now that
oh
you say that, like I make the connection with that.
yeah, because I like
Uh-huh.
how you can go from left to right in every shot when you're watching a movie. Um,
Right.
yeah, I like that. So yeah, what inspires me is filmmakers. Like maybe there's so many, and there's so many that I like so much. Kubrick. I like what he does, what he did. Um, and I just watched a movie a couple of weeks or maybe 2 months ago. I don't remember exactly, but a portrait of a lady on fire.
Mhm.
And that movie was really inspiring. I liked the landscapes that it had and the way it used colors and the compositions. So yeah, that's my main influence: filmmakers and directors of photography.
That is fascinating, and that explains a lot about your work. So, you two are very young artists. How do you see yourselves in 5, 10 years? What do you want to accomplish? Is there
Um,
any specific goal?
Absolutely. For me, I definitely want to just accomplish stability to some degree. I want to also have some sort of a higher fan base is for following on like social media platforms, because I feel like that's a very, very important, especially in this digital world. It's so important for me, like artists, to have a good following. And right now, I don't have a good following. So I feel like as I progress and become a better artist, I feel like within the 5 years, my following will progress, my sense of stability in the arts world will progress, as well as I also feel like I will be doing a lot more, or I hope to be doing a lot more projects and events and like actual commissions and things like that, because I hope by then my name will have gotten out there to where people want to work with me despite me being so young or despite me being a Black artist.
Thank you, Ray. What about you, Alejandro?
I don't know. I always forget about the question. What was the question?
The question is, how do you see yourself in 5 years, 10
Oh,
years? What do you want to accomplish?
so it's the same thing. I agree with Ray about the stability part. And that's
Yeah.
something that every emerging artist feel, because it's difficult to get. I mean, it's not like you find stability and you stay there for your whole life, but at least some artists reach one point where they are more stable, and it's a little bit easier to keep working, like to work in a steady way. Something that's exactly why I like illustration, commercial illustration, because um, that's an area where an artist can find certain stability doing art. It's just more commercial, but
Yes.
the good part is that you get commissions, and you have to do sometimes what the client wants. Sometimes it's not too similar to what you want, but at least yeah, it helps to find some stability. So yeah, illustration
So
is a
do you
good way to do
enjoy?
it. Sorry.
So do you enjoy illustration as much as you do like painting and your digital paintings or oil painting and now photography? Is that at the same level for you? Like,
Actually, I do enjoy both things equally, because what sometimes working in something that it's your own idea and it doesn't have a client, it feels like it's not going anywhere. Sometimes you feel like you need to know what's going to happen with that thing that you're doing. Um, so that's something that I don't like about uh, painting as an artist. And that's something that doesn't happen with illustration, because with illustration, you do
right.
something that you know that you're going to get paid for the product. So
Yes.
that makes it enjoyable,
A
because
commitment.
you just do it and you can relax. You say, okay, I have 5 days to finish this illustration, and then you work on it and you listen to music or you do something else, and when it's done, you get paid. So that's a different kind of enjoyment.
Yeah, and then we go back to that, to having that sense of stability that gives you like a pay job, rather than when you're an independent artist, you just create and you go out to the world with what you have, and it's a totally different experience.
Yes.
So regarding that, Donald Park has a question for us. Hi everyone, what would you consider to have been most challenging thing you had to overcome as an artist, and do you feel that it plays a role in your artistic style today?
For me, I feel like the most challenging thing that I had to overcome was being told that I wasn't good enough as an artist. Um, yeah, actually every art form that I've practiced in, somebody's always told me that I was not good enough for whatever I was doing. So I feel like over time, I kind of just met enough people who told me to create my own style and just say screw everybody else. But I feel like that all those no's and denials and telling me that I would not be a good artist kind of pushed me to make my art a lot bolder, a lot brighter. Because when I was first starting to paint, my colors were very flat. I had little to no vibrancy, but now I have hues in a lot of my work. I do a lot of like I change up my my themes and what I'm actually painting so that it's always bold. It's always out there regardless of who likes it or not. So I definitely feel like me getting denied is what kind of is another driving force that allowed me to be the artist that I am now.
Yeah, that's something very important when you're an artist, because you are going to find rejection. I mean, that happens a lot. So you have to be strong enough to overcome that. Some people are going to be receptive to your work and others won't. And that's the way it is. So you're doing the right thing, Ray.
Thank you.
Alejandro, do you remember the question?
Now it's written down there, so it's easy for me.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think the most challenging thing has been, to be able to pay the bills, to be an artist, and at the same time you have to live in the real world, to be independent. That's the most challenging part, and of course it influences what you do as an artist, and it has influenced me. And I still try to do what I like visually, but at the same time I also try to like be a little bit in tune with everything else that's happening, in order to be able to be seen, because it's not a
Right.
bad thing to study the market before you make an artwork. Usually artists see that part as something that is not artistic, but it's something that it has to be done. So yeah, I think that's how it has influenced me. This challenge of trying to figure out ways to make art and at the same time work. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, time management, and to be able to do art and have a sustainable life, like being an artist, it's is the greatest challenge, to be able to do everything and continue doing what you love. So here's my last question, because I see it's 7:55 and we're gonna be closing up pretty soon. I want to know something interesting about both of you that is not art related. Something that people will be like, "Wow, I cannot believe this." Who wants to answer first?
I have to think about that one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know. So most of the things that I do or that I like is are related to art, and some of them are doesn't seem to be. They don't seem to be related to art, but if you think about it, they are. I was going to say reading books, but that's art. That's literature. You know, it's a way of art.
Yeah.
Or maybe I a couple of years ago I was very interested in tarot cards. You know, the ones that supposedly predict the future.
Hmm.
Because of the designer or because of the meaning?
Because of how they work, because I learned how they work, and so and that influenced me in what I do now, because every image of the cards, like the position of the person inside of the card, and the place, the way that the hand is moving, the colors of the clothes, if there's like a symbol up there, everything means something. It has a meaning. So you see the card, and then you start looking at all these symbols and aspects and gestures, and then you know what it means, what
Right.
the card means, without reading words. You read the image. Yeah, so that's
Yes.
something maybe that is not
Wow.
related to art. Maybe it's not. I hope it's not. I don't see anything else.
I know.
Nothing else
But
comes to mind.
I guess
but
for
that's really
me,
cool.
oh, I guess for me, my unart related interesting thing would be, um, I really like to go horseback riding, and I also used to like train a horse, or I was trained, or I was training to train a horse.
Oh,
Interesting.
nice.
Yeah, I'm not like Alejandro, I'm not very interesting when it comes to anything else outside of art.
Well, it's 7:57. I think if does anyone have any questions, we will be happy to answer. Okay, Mona
Thank
is
you
coming.
all. That
Thank
was
you so much,
wonderful.
everyone, for being here. And thank
you.
you, Alejandro and Ray. It was so nice talking to both of you.
Thank
Thank you,
you. Nice
Shayla.
talking to you both.
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you,
Thank you, Shayla,
Mona.
for
Thank you.
moderating. All right, that was tremendous. I want to thank everyone for attending. I want to thank Dara Resnick, who's behind the scenes, running the show, clicking everything, bringing all those comments up, the museum staff, and absolutely everybody that attended, and the artists. We have a lot of events planned for the next few weeks. We have a variety of events, a lot virtual, and one in person, I think, has been sold out already. But we have a virtual Children's Saturday Studio that you can still sign up for, I believe, a virtual pop-up studio, virtual film series and conversation, really excellent program called For the Love of Furniture that will focus on furniture from the museum's permanent collection. And that's just October. So we have tons of stuff coming up down the line. Check out the museum's website, thewestmoreland.org/events for more details and links to register. Thank you again, and have a wonderful night.